Susana Gambuzero, baby, oh, baby, only Mugumi is a Baba Gambili, Baba Gamba, no, you are my Gamba. Why you sasa nifanyeje wewe ni wangu nakupenda nakutamani yekwe wange sirina mlala no amanyebya nge yakwe mukwano gwange opo changwe wange kabite wange kulira banyumya
with Radio and Wizzo with Zino and Nako. And Myco Chris, good morning, man. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are going to be talking about very, very interesting stuff, man. You get an artist, there's always a struggle to get there.
That's right.
And then when you get there, there's a struggle to stay up there.
Yeah, that's true.
First of all, we need to understand Myco Chris in detail.
Yeah.
For a person that is watching you for the first time today, probably listening to you for the first time.
That's true.
You have a background in music or the entertainment industry in the country. You didn't just start singing when you were 25, or you've had. First, tell us about your background in music.
I've been singing 25 years.
Okay.
This year, started singing professionally at the age of 9.
9
at St. Paul's Cathedral Choir in Amirambe.
Yeah. So how did you get into the choir?
The auditions that were made. Obviously, there was an opportunity that was given to my school for children to come into the choir, but you had to audition, and obviously you had to get into the whole process that is needed to, confirmation and all these things. Yeah. So by God's grace, I did make it through to the finals. I was with a friend called Chaga Yaga.
Yeah, Chaga Yaga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were together in the choir at the time, and obviously after that, another journey of life came through where I joined a Mashanka, which was led by Shanks Vividi at the time. So people are talking about Fresh Kid today, but we were the original kids of the time.
The original Fresh Kids.
Yes, true.
25 years.
Yeah.
That's quite a time.
It is indeed.
How did you get into wanting to be a musician? Is it something that you grew up seeing anyone in the family sing, or how did you get inspired?
Yeah, there was more, but I suppose it was just a gift that was given to me. I paid attention to it, and I started listening to Michael Jackson when I was young, and I was like, wow, I can sing like this guy. And I tried a few times, and before I knew, I was Michael Jackson on my time.
Okay, so you have a background in I don't know. Every single time we've met vocalists in this country,
that's right.
They have a background in church music.
That's true.
And you have quite highlighted that.
That's very true.
Would you say that church is the best place to start for vocalists in this country?
Our church is a very good place to start for any singer, not only vocalists. It could be anybody, really. More so the kind of setting which is more the English, Church of England kind of setting, which, you know, it filters down to our Church of Uganda kind of concept, more so for Namrembe Cathedral. It helps in learning the detailed concepts of music, whereby you read staff notation and solfèges, and you learn how best to use your voice and all these things. And you know, it's a golden opportunity that I got at that time. I didn't know at the time I was going through the process. I thought it was another odd thing, but with time I've gotten to know that actually this was a springboard that was like none ever before.
Okay.
And I could never get it again, you know.
So that's very important, because I feel like very many Ugandan artists today are singing, but they don't really know that much music.
Music correction.
Apart from you know, there's a script right there. There's a beat there. You know, sing to it, and that's it. Ask them to play a guitar or an instrument or anything.
That's true.
Or even just you give them those music books, and they can't read off a line. But that's very important. So. First of all, we just played Zinenako, which is one of your first songs. Is there anything before that?
Yeah, there were many songs.
There were very many songs that we didn't really pay that much attention to.
It's the song that actually got the attention.
So we realized in that video, we are Ugandans. We know how a Uganda looks. That video wasn't shot here.
It was shot
It wasn't
in England.
done here. It was done in England.
That's right.
So tell us the story. How do you leave the cathedral to England?
Exactly. So I left quite a number of years. I've been living in England for the past 19 years.
Okay.
So, but the songs in Inaku was written after my first encounters in the UK. I leave Uganda, going to the promised land.
Like always.
Yeah.
Like always.
So I was being housed by this gentleman whose wife was pregnant at the time. And of course, she went into labor. And while she was still in hospital, due to return home with the baby, the gentleman gives me the news that actually you've got to vacate the room where you're staying because we need it for the child.
Baby.
Exactly. So I thought it was kind of like, okay, we shall find you elsewhere to go. But the guy concluded by saying, you need to find yourself
you need to leave the
place to go. That was it, brutal as it is. So he puts me into a friend's house. He speaks to a good friend of his. And then this friend of his used to lock me in the house while he's going to work at 6:30 p.m. English time, which is summertime. And of course, if you know about the summertime in England, the sun goes down at around 10:30, 11. So in all honesty, it was such a horrible time for me. And I stayed in the guy's house for about 3 days, and I was like, what if this house burns down and I'm locked in here? You know, so I chose to vacate and go on the street. So while on the street, I think it was about 4 mornings into my period of staying in the park at night. So what I would do, I would ride the bus till midnight. Then I would jump off the bus and sleep on a bench in the park. So this particular morning, I was awoken by the rain. It rained and I had to get up because obviously I was sleeping in the open. So it just dawned on me like zinenako ziruma zinyika, zinenako zikola chizikoma. So I was like, this is a good line.
This is a good line.
I put it in my song, because back in the days we had books to write songs. So I put it down, put the line down. Fast forward, 2008, Radio and Weasel came down to the UK to do a concert. So after the concert, they were looking for a producer who could produce a great song for them before they come back home. I had the leading studio because I'm a music producer, songwriter. So they came to my studio to do a different song, Computer Crashes, We Reboot, and Zinenako, which I had previously recorded for me, my story of the UK. When they had the song, Myco Radio, he said, sir, we don't want to do any other song we came to do. Can we feature on this song? Yeah. So this is how the song came through.
Wow.
And obviously, if you know Radio and Weasel, they're very gifted people.
Yes, very gifted.
Quick on the pen as well. So we wrote the song. I directed them how I wanted the song to be delivered. And the rest is history. It became a phenomenal song.
Having worked with the radio, may his soul rest in peace, how was that experience? You know, because when every single time we meet artists, everyone says there's a different story, a different special story about radio in particular. What's your experience working with him?
For me, relationship is more important than the gift. So we had a lengthy relationship actually, because he was trained by Chaga. Who I was in the choir with with the group. So we had that kind of distant kind of relationship. He had heard of me and how I sing, but we had never met. So when we met, it was art meeting art. It was beautiful an experience because he was very gifted, a man. And I remember I was telling one of my friends, Kokli, who's on the track as well, I was like, this guy is supposed to be in our generation because the way he is quick on writing, because back in the days we used to just freestyle on any track and you could make up a song on stage, you know, something you've never sung before, but it had to sound like it had been there forever. So anyway, long story short, I was very intrigued by this guy and I was like, this is good. But before I met him, I had heard of the song Nakudata. I had listened to the songs. I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
This is good stuff.
For me as a vocal singer, we needed more stuff like that because as you can imagine, we had more ragamuffins come through the system than, you know.
Yeah, the days of Ragadian.
Exactly.
And what's his name? Emperor Orlando and all that.
Shanks VVD.
Shanks VVD. So you how... Because you see, many times we fail to understand the context of how gifted people are.
That's right.
And how good they are.
That's
but
right.
how gifted was Mose when it comes to writing music? Because you said they were quick on the pen.
No, he was awesomely gifted.
How long did it take you guys to get him to, you know, feature on this song?
It took, because they came with their style, but I had a niche for the song. I wanted the song to sound a specific way. So obviously I told him, okay, you're great at what you're doing, but I want this song my way. Has got to go this direction. The guy was like, oh, it's okay, let me go your way. He picks up and I was like, wow, this is what I want. So I told him, jump into the booth, because I'm like that. If I'm excited and I see art come through, I know at that tipping point is when something must be baked and baked right. So he jumped into the booth and he was singing back. I'd come into the pen, singing back. I was like, man, this is nice.
This is nice.
So we met again. Obviously, after that, we were to do another song together, but time did not allow us. You know, the second time they came around, I was working with other people from Sweden in the studio, and we couldn't get into the studio.
Let's get this into context. How do these collaborations work? Because, you know, this is your song.
That's right.
They come to feature on the song. So,
that's right.
What happens? How do you do they just come and sing on your song for free? Do you give them some money? Do you they pay you to feature on their song?
Exactly.
Do you guys, I don't know, promise each other that when the song makes it, I'll do this? What happens? Because yes, as much as you are a producer,
that's right,
and it was your song, it was them that they were the big the big artists, the big guys. So how does that work?
For me, I think for me it was just respect for art, first of all, but also chemistry. It has got to be right. I'll tell you what, if they did not sound the way I wanted the song to sound, it wouldn't have been out. But you know, everything is timely, you see. So when time meets the right season, you get me? So we put out something nice. So
that song is out. It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Still is. And they play it in the club. You find people sing along to it.
I hear you.
Now suddenly there's pressure. You know, when you go pick up a certain girl from somewhere and you like her, take her home, wife her, and she has a beautiful boy as a firstborn. There's pressure on her to give birth to a beautiful girl as well. So there you are, your first baby, and it's a hit.
I hear you.
Pressure.
For me, I've never been worried about that really, because I understand my purpose for why I'm singing. You see, pressure can come if you're looking for another hit and another hit, if that's what makes you relevant. But if I take you back in the days we started singing, we didn't have hits. All we had was good singing and good voices, great voices. So, for instance, Sabrina Times, none of us had a song. Juliana didn't have, Kokli didn't have, Chizo didn't have, Ken Wanda didn't have, Irene Namiri didn't have. But we heard great voices. But the thing is, when you know your purpose, then you pace yourself accordingly. So I followed up with a song called Kabita Wange, which was a love song dedicated to my wife at the time. So I always try to find absolute meaning in my music than just being, you know, I need to push out a song, I need to bring out a song. I want to be a blessing, not only to myself, but to the people as well.
Okay.
So it is crucial for every artist to pace yourself. If you look back into the music industry, times of Philip Bongo Lutaya, we didn't have too much coming into.
They didn't release 10 songs a year?
Exactly. But those songs were timeless because they took time to hoover on the songs, have them developed and grow into the personalities they had to be, because those songs are personalities, they're not just songs.
When you look at these Congolese that we love so much,
Exactly.
those guys had one song like in 3 years.
There you go. Because they had given it time. The song comes from deep within. So it is timeless. But we can name so many, you know, artists that have come through the system. They hit for a year or two, they're out. 3 years down the road, you don't want to listen to their hit song over time. Why?
Yeah, as I don't like attacking people, but I know a couple of Ugandan artists that have been in the industry for like 2-3 years and have more songs than Whitney Houston.
There you go.
And that's quite something. But anyway, so no pressure at all for you?
Yeah, no pressure.
For hits?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken me 25 years.
Is that just an excuse, Michael?
When you look back to our generation, music was not the first thing. It was always education, have a profession, you understand? Then music, we were strong musically because we had to stay. Back in the days, you were called a muyaye to sing. Yeah, I'm a singer, like serious.
You didn't want to show off.
Exactly. So like on the village,
it was a private business, it was a project on the side.
You know, so, but also that came in handy because obviously you have a fallback position. That is professional.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an IT engineer by profession.
Okay.
So you find that I don't have to keep, you know, whipping this horse to go faster than it should. So I'm giving this horse ample time to feed and take a bit of water. Then we can move at a pace that is healthy for both of us.
How many songs have you released from Zinenaku? We've heard of Kabite?
Yeah, I have Kabite, Nkwagala Kufa, Siri Kusula, Nowhere, Overcome, It's Okay. Plenty of songs.
Which is your latest?
It's Okay.
It's Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if my producer has It's Okay, but I think let's play one of Myco Chris's latest songs, and then we're going to get into some little bit of judgment because you know, it was his days, now it's our days, so he needs to come up and match up with Bwa Bwa Bwa. Let's listen to this.
Beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, that's the latest from Myco Chris. It's okay. That video has quite a couple of familiar faces in there. I'm not going to get into that, but I see Edgar Mukulu in there. I've seen Dennis in there. A couple of those boys that I know. I have some good background from their area, so I know them. But so this video, well, shot it in Kampala.
In Kampala.
Tell us about the song. What's the song about?
Basically, you know, the song says it's okay to dance and celebrate. So it may not go the way you want it to go, you know. But it's okay. You know, it's okay. You know, when you get some little amount of money coming in, don't feel too bad like I shouldn't treat myself.
Let's talk about the comeback. Is this a comeback, or is it just, you know, you getting some time off from England and you're like, oh, well, I'm going back home. Let's go with a song and shoot a video and then talk about it, and then when summer is over, I can get back to work.
No, actually, I've been consistent. I'm one person that will never cease singing. You see, I do a 9 to 5, get back home, I have a studio at home, I have a studio away from the premises, but I'm so keen on working on the gift that I have to attend to the studio every day in my house. So whenever I get back, I have to drop an idea. I have over 5,000 songs written.
Okay. What's the hardest thing when it comes to, you know, the artists of your days making a comeback today? Because we have seen too many of them. We've had of recent Chris Nachimera, with Ragadi, all those artists. Some artists have failed to make a comeback. I don't know if I should call him the man that used to WSA Yangi. What's his name? Forgotten his name. Many artists have had hits. We don't want to call them one-hit wonders, but they've failed to make a comeback. But what's the hold-up?
But I think you have to understand the times.
Yes, let's talk about Red Band.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can't, if you keep looking for a hit single, you will never solve your purpose. You see, so there's a reason for everything.
Is it pressure from the artists that we have today?
No,
the ones that are releasing a song every single month and a video that you know,
that could be
you can't handle.
It's not even about handling, but for me, for instance, I live in the diaspora. I'm not a regular in Uganda. I come 3 times in a year. You understand? But I keep doing what I have to do, send it back home, let it get played, and then we see how the cycle goes. So I'm not pressured that I have to move. It's about purpose. Okay. You see, serve your purpose, serve your time, and that's what it is. And if you do it right, you know, it goes the right way.
So talk to the artist right now that is out there. I don't think they would really want to take too much note of what you're saying. I know artists have this whole stubborn thing in their heads, but an artist struggling to make a comeback or trying to make a comeback today, what should they do?
You see, wisdom is the principal thing. You understand? So you have to, first of all, be honest with yourself and know that I have to keep in my lane. That's very important. If you keep jumping, going to people's lanes, then you will not succeed because you are not being honest and real to yourself. But if you're real with yourself and say, this is who I am, this is what best speaks of who I am, then you're going to put out material that will appeal not only to the people of your generation, but to everybody, because guess what? Everybody will get to that point where you are, or people have been where you are. Okay, see, so thing is, don't get pressured, because once you get pressured, you start to operate out of self. You operate away from who you should be than who you must be. You are operating on another person's pace. You get it? So you can't. It's not by mistake that people pop up and come and hit. Did you know what I mean? But guess we've seen so many pop up and then they go, pop up and then they go. So pace yourself. You know, walk your walk. It's your walk. You are not walking somebody else's walk. It's yours. Take your time. Do what you're supposed to do. Put out good material. Let it be beautiful. Let it be the best of you. As long as you put out the best of you, you have nobody to blame, and no one should blame you.
Okay. Let's talk about your show, your upcoming show.
Exactly.
At Serena. Every single time you come back here, you seem to have a show of some sort.
No.
Tell us about it.
Actually, this is my first real major show in 25 25.
Okay.
So just a little recap. My story growing up wasn't very rosy. Mom and dad separated when I was 3 months, and the issue in court was I wasn't my father's son. So obviously mom is kicked out of the house, and she has to really get back to work, something she had never done all her life. As you can imagine, back in the days, women were never people who went to work.
Yeah.
The people who stayed home to look after the house and the children, you know. So it was really hard for us that at one point we had to stay in a room, 14 people in a room, because she had maids she had come with from the house, the big man's house. So going to school was quite hard because there was no fees for me. I was a fatherless child. That at one point she actually thought of giving me up to care for St. Panji Foundation, but she didn't. So anyway, long story short, I go into this primary school. There was a program that looks after orphans. I wasn't an orphan, but there was a clause in that if the child was smart but was not able to meet the fees, they would take the load off their shoulders. Okay. So that's how I made it through, and by God's grace I made it through. So fast forward to 2nd of August, which is today, Friday, at Kampala Serena Victoria Hall, Give a Hand charity concert. Okay. We are launching Kindness Foundation, which is my charity that I founded, and obviously we have people working with us. We've been in operation for a good 6 years, you know, helping people. I took after my mother, because when my mother passed, she was looking after 10 children privately. So we didn't know. So these people were left in suspense. The person who was meeting school fees had gone. I had to pick up from there. But of course, before I picked up, you know, you would send money. I would send money to her from England. This is for Bodingi. This is for Mbuzi. You know. And she said, oh, we didn't have that goat because so-and-so's child had to go to school. So it was more of those stories. I thought, you know what, Mom, let me be of help and see how we can help. Okay. So I started, but when she passed, obviously, I had to pick up the load. We have 3 graduates who have come through, obviously we've helped. And then now the number grew to 16, and I said, you know what, 25 years in music, it is just right that instead of making a celebration or concert, just I'm big, I've been in this thing for 25, let us give back, use my gift, you know, to campaign that people can come and give back to this foundation.
Okay. How much interest?
A table of 10 is 2 million.
Okay.
VIP tickets are 200K. Okay. Then standard tickets are 100K.
What time does it start?
Red carpet is at 5:30.
5:30.
And this is very interesting this time around, because obviously we want to meet and mingle people to make new connections. Obviously, person of my generation, you can imagine 25 years I've met a lot of people, you know. So just people to come around and meet them. So it's going to be like a reunion. Then of course 7:30 on the dot, concert kicks off. And we're great to go.
What's your goal?
My goal
with this
it's to see Kindness Foundation launched, but also funds that are coming out, they'll go to Kindness. Then also a portion will go to charity of choice, which will be voted on the night for more people. Oh. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds very, very kind, I have to say.
You have to be kind in this damn generation, to be honest. But the issue is, if somebody did not hold my hand the time I was, probably you and me will never have this kind of dialogue on national TV. You know, and obviously I wouldn't be the type of person I am. Never would I be speaking to you the way I am. But somebody had to hold my hand, and God bless the soul of Miss Rose Mkandoli, because she pioneered this project. There were so many people, my kind, who came through the project that she started off, and people today are very successful indeed, but they haven't forgotten their journey or where they came from.
Awesome stuff. We need more kind people like you, Myco.
We must be.
Thank you very much
God bless you,
for joining us this morning. Myco Chris, joining us today for our Tech Notes conversation. Let's all come to Serena. That is Victoria Hall? Victoria Hall today. All you need is 100,000 shillings and you can just come. Or if you're 10 people, a table will cost you
2 million.
2 million Ghana shillings. Come, let's give a hand. Help someone.
That's right.
That's the only way to go forward, guys. Come on. We need to help each other so that we can move ourselves ourselves, our lives, other families, and this country forward as well. That is Serena Hotel today, Victoria Hall, 100,000 Ghana shillings. Table for 10 is 2 million Ghana shillings. So come, let's support each other and support those kids out there that are struggling to also, have a future. You never know. I keep telling people, I tell people this, but because we grew up hearing it, could be the next president.
I'm telling you.
So, we need to do that. Thank you very much, Myco, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you and hearing your story.
Thank you for
as well. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We'll definitely come for this concert, and so that we can support you in the best way.
Thank you so much.
That's it for our Tech Notes session. Morning at NTV continues. We'll be back with another interesting situation that we kind of hinted on yesterday. How do you tell if he or she is a gold digger? Let me first ask Chris, how do you tell if he or she is a gold digger?
Send me transport so I can come.
That's how you tell she's a gold digger.
I'm telling you.
Let's get into that conversation right after this.
The Daily Monitor brings you the 14th Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic in Bunyoro sub-region, which will focus on piggery, bananas, cassava, maize, apiary, or honey, wax and venom, and fish, with key interest in